I mean, it's crazy. Kids are actually getting mad at parents for not sending them to school, sending them to not paying for their college. Hmm.
Grow a set already. You and your sister coming at me with the same stuff all the time. I'm tired.
But like, what I'm not understanding is why can't you help me?
Because I'm tired of helping. You guys are, oh my God, you're grown.
Okay, but I'm still your daughter.
You are still my daughter, but that doesn't mean I have to constantly take care of you.
This doesn't make any sense, and it's just unfair to me because all the rest of my friends and my cousins, all their parents are helping them.
I'm not all the rest of your friends' mamas. I'm your mama.
But that's not fair. They get to relax and actually focus on school,
Okay,
and I have to work.
You're gonna have to. You know what? This is where you need to prioritize your time. You're gonna have to set a better schedule.
My time?
Yes, your time.
What time do I have? I work all the time.
Okay,
if I'm not at school, I'm at work. If not at work, I'm at school.
I raised 2 kids by myself. Your dad didn't help me with nothing.
I'm not
I did that
you,
by
though.
myself.
I'm not you.
You don't have to be me. But I did it. Ain't nobody helped me with nothing.
But why do I have to struggle, though? If you can help me, why do I have to struggle? None of my friends have to struggle. They don't have to worry about working.
College is freaking expensive. And
Yeah, man. That's the entitlement issue. We talk about generational wealth, but I keep telling people generational wealth doesn't start with a 4-year degree, nor does it start with the business. It starts with how you teach and you train your kids. So at this point in time, the kids that are complaining about their parents not being able to pay for school for them, they need to let it go, okay? Convince their parents to stay at home and go to a local college, even go online to school. I say because 20 years ago, before I got into real estate, I was dealing with the same thing too, but I wasn't sitting back making videos, dragging my parents about not paying for it. It was up to me because I felt like that higher level of education was something that I wanted, that I aspired to. So, first of all, if your kids are dragging you for that, you don't need to feel bad about that one bit. Oh no. You don't. There's nothing to feel bad about, okay? It's nothing to feel bad. The educational system we understand as a 4-year college, that doesn't guarantee success for a kid at all. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about 10 of the people that I knew when I graduated college that got degrees. Only 2 of them actually work in that space. Only 2 of them actually work in that space. So what did they get from getting that 4-year degree? It was the confidence to say, I completed my 4-year degree. But spending $40,000 a year just to get a piece of paper to say that you are able to learn is terrible. I think it's the worst type of system that we've ever created. Some people belong in 4-year colleges. If you're talking about STEM programs, if you're talking about scientists, researchers, even attorneys, I would say, yeah, doctors, people who have a high set of skills. They belong in that 4-year degree progress. And if you ask some of them, a lot of their parents didn't pay for them to do that. They had to take out student loans. They had to work multiple jobs in order to do it. When I decided, I went through going to a 4-year degree, going to a community college, getting my real estate license, and discovering, damn, I really don't want to be sitting at a classroom listening to a teacher tell me how to make money or to do things that they don't even make money in or they are not even doing. They're just telling me and teaching me. And then still when you get out, you still got to deal with employers saying you don't have enough experience. No experience at all. That's the manipulation, the deception that they have these kids going to school with. And they're racking them up with high student loans, high debt, and they're coming out. I've always believed, well, I don't say always, I grew to the understanding that you treat your 4-year degree just like an investment for any piece of property. If I'm going to buy a piece of property and I'm paying $200,000 for it, the property can't yield me a $200,000 return. It really needs to yield me close to about 350 return. And it doesn't have to be immediately, but I have to clearly see when I'm in it that is profitable from the tax benefits to the cash flow benefits to the appreciation benefits. The mistake is, even with AI now, our kids are going to come out of school and still have to go and get additional education to understand how AI fits and works with the degree that they went to go get, because a lot of the 4-year schools are behind. When they teach you something and you come out, you still have to work at a job and get experience. And on that job, that experience that you get, you wouldn't have got it in a 4-year degree. You can't get it. A lot of the information they teach you, they're not even teaching you at that 4-year degree school. So this entitlement issue our kids have, we have to address it, because this whole wealth building journey that a lot of people step out to do, it starts with knowledge. It starts with the education. It starts with what goes between your eyes, ears, and your mouth. It starts with those things. And I was just fortunate 20 years ago. I was sitting at my dining room table. I know God pressed on my heart to get my real estate license. And even though my family told me, yo, listen, my aunt told me, she said, you're following the devil. The devil's lying. He's telling you. I still was able to create and build a great life for me and my family, knowing that this 4-year degree gave me the free 4-year this 4-year degree. This real estate license gave me the freedom, the mobility, and then also tapped into a level of grit that I had to go in and get, that I had to rely on, that I had to rest in, that I'm able to do it and walk through it. There are so many alternatives to a 4-year degree, and we make it, when we put that as the bar that our children have to obtain, arise to or get to be successful, we ignore their skills, we ignore God's path for their life, we ignore the opportunities that's taking place in the marketplace at that time, because all we see is that 4-year degree. You get that paper and they can't take it from you. Guess what? They still can take it from you, because if you don't, you can have that paper and not bring any value to your employer, and you will be out the door.
Costs hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I see parents getting into debt all the time, remortgaging their homes, taking out retirement to try to make college possible for their children, and I hate to see this. I think college is a great option. This is what I do for a living. However, there are other options for you if your family cannot afford the traditional 4-year college degree. One of those options is going to your local community college. Community colleges offer 1-year certificate programs and 2-year degrees, shorter term training programs that are super affordable, and you can make a lot of money going and getting a degree in one of those areas. The nice thing about community colleges is, even though you're dependent and need your parent information on the FAFSA, it's affordable, so you'll get enough financial aid on your own to pay for it without needing any help from your parents. You could also look at doing an apprenticeship in a different field. You could go to cosmetology school. You could look into getting your real estate license. My 21-year-old daughter just did this. She opted not to go to the traditional college route, and she is thriving in the real estate field. There's so many things you can do besides going to a 4-year college. So if you're
Yeah, and I was able to learn sales. I was able to learn marketing. I was able to understand what branding is. Branding, I was able to understand the concept of really, numbers came alive to me when I got into real estate, because it was boring to me in school. I was still able to do the math problems, but it was like, you're doing this really, what type of sense does this make? When I got into real estate, I realized what type of sense it makes. And then now engaging with the numbers became a lot more entertaining and interesting. And I learned more. I was open to learn more. Likewise, I saw friends that got into the insurance space, being able to, they wasn't great in school, but the fact they were working in a space that utilized their natural God-given talent and stacked a skill on top of that, they were able now to recruit and build teams and build leaders in their organization and scale up their business. We got to stop telling our children this is the only way out. We have to. We have to teach our children to do good assessments of themselves. And if they don't want to listen to do that assessment of them, of their natural abilities that God has given to them, where they desire to go, why they desire to go there, how they're going to pay for it. If they can't assess this thing and walk it out, then tell them don't do it. Because it's too many people that have gone through that program in order to enjoy being in college. The frat parties, the late night parties, the hanging out, the freedom, the mobility, all those different things, the boyfriend. They went through all of that to leave school later on with a huge debt load, bad experiences and scars that they got to keep with them, and then still going into a job market, which right now is crazy. It's completely crazy because these people are completely depending on this system to supply their needs and to take care of them, ignoring their natural skills that are given to them, that they can be natural abilities and talents that are given to them that they can build skills on top of. They can do that. I learned how to sell not because of anything, but because I got into real estate and I started working at sales positions, and it helped me to be able to communicate with you even better. Things come from this. Just because you can't afford it, that doesn't mean that there's no lessons or abilities or things that you really should take yourself through to make yourself a better person. Door to door sales, I did that. I went door to door. I remember I went door to door a couple years, and we were doing, when I say we, I was actually doing close to six figures just knocking on doors and selling alarm systems. It got me better talking to people face to face, presenting to them, answering objections, branding, how branding works, marketing, getting on the phone and calling somebody cold out the blue that you didn't know and telling them how you have a solution to their problem. Matter of fact, it helped me to understand problem-based solutions. Yeah.
Family's not in a position to pay for a 4-year college degree for you. You have choices, and there's things you can do to have a successful life. You don't need a 4-year college degree to do that.
So my mother pays for my brother's college and didn't pay anything for mine. And sometimes I feel resentment for her over it, and I'm trying to let it go, but it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. And I've tried to move on, but I just need, I don't know how to move on from it because it's happening right in front of my face. Now, I will admit in college, I did struggle. I struggled and my grades weren't so good. But after college, I went to nursing school, and she was like, oh yeah, I'll help you pay for your nursing school, because I was going to go to school near my grandfather because my grandfather wasn't doing well, so I was going to live with him and go to nursing school at the same time. And all of a sudden, she reneged on that, and I did so well in nursing school, but she didn't help me. Like, maybe.
Okay, so she's mad because her mom didn't help her pay for nursing school in a 4-year, but she completed a 4-year, completed nursing school, and obviously, I don't know from this video, I'm just working off of that one video. It doesn't seem like it seems like she completed it, like it's done. But you will still hold that level of animosity towards your parents, that you will say they didn't do anything for you. And see, we put too much pressure on these people that never these people that never had kids before, and we ended up being their first, second, or third child. And if you're the second or third, you're great, because me, I was the first. So I didn't get a lot of things that my brother got. But I could have turned around and cried and complained on it. I could have been upset. He went to private school. I went to public school. During the time I was going to high school, public high school, they couldn't afford it. But when he was ready to go into high school, they were able to afford it. What type of person I would be bitter towards my parents and say, hey, you didn't put me through it. Well, no. See, I realized, and you realize it, and please help your kids understand that the natural pressure that comes in life, you can use it two ways. You can use it to make you bitter, contrite. You can use it to make you hardened, calloused, upset, mad, vindictive towards those people. Or you can use it to better yourself. You can say, listen, I may have to go to school, which I had to do. I may have to work a full-time job, which I had to do. And I may have to study for my classes, which I had to do. I was doing my real estate license. I was doing Georgia State, and I was still real estate license, Georgia State, and still going to school, going to work. In some cases, getting up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning when I had to manage that shift, working physically grueling task, getting paid tips in order to pay my way through. Now, I hear some of y'all say, Leon, she's a girl. She shouldn't have to do that. Well, guess what? You got a 4-year online school, Western Governors University. That's one of them that you can go to. And if you're not obsessed with having this so-called college experience, which everybody knows the purpose for college is to get you a 4-year degree so you can make money and have your income potential be higher than that of your peers that didn't have it. Sometimes that happens. A lot of times it doesn't. Not all the time, because you find people that are in positions and they're only getting paid $40,000 and they spent $160,000 to actually get that degree, or $50,000 and they spent $100,000 to get that degree. So they're upside down now. So now you have to work that off, and you think you're not enjoying life right now. Your parent and your friends are out there just doing everything they want to do. The fact is, and we know it, that is not, that those same friends that are out here now will be the same ones who don't know what they want to do with their lives. They gave it to a 4-year degree. It may look like they want to do a business, but then they still have to get the next level, which is business skills. And then those business skills, they still have to sell. They still have to learn to talk to people. They still have to learn to pitch, recruit, build the organization. All these things you may get principles from it in 4 years, but they don't get the full amount. So I tell parents, don't be condemned or pushed to the side. Don't feel any type of way because these kids are saying this. Because the miseducation that they received that told them that this is the only way out, or if they don't have this, they're less than, okay? That miseducation shouldn't be what you now change your life, mortgage your home, change the way you live in order for them to go through that miseducation, come out with the degree. They've already taken all the generational wealth from out of your home. Y'all trying to figure how you're going to retire, stuff like that. Yeah. We do a bad job in showing our children what the real world is because we leave them to these high schools to show them that this is the way, when in essence we know most of the teachers that are in those high schools never did anything, and they'll never do anything. They'll continue to teach high school students advanced principles for living life that they don't even adhere to. And I'm not saying there's bad teachers out there. Don't get it twisted. There's some very, very good teachers out there. But we're talking more about the curriculum. And I'll be honest with you, you don't want to learn anything that's life-based from people that who haven't instituted, implemented it, put it to work in their actual life. You're wasting your time.
I'm weird, and maybe I don't got no kids. That's probably what it is. I don't have no kids. But y'all, tell me I'm crazy. But you, at 30-something years old, decide to go to college. Well, that's not a problem. There's no age on college, right? But your 18-year-old just turned 18, almost done with high school, finna go on to college. And you decide to enroll the same year your child is graduating high school. So you have to pay for your tuition, and you don't pay for your child's tuition, or any of your children's tuition, to be exact. Nobody, none, but your...
So they deserve to be dragged on screen because they won't give you their money to complete your education that you're endeavoring to do. That is not a requirement to be successful in life, but you just want it. You just want it, and you feel that this is where it needs to be. You don't want to map out another path to get there. You don't want to recognize the climate of the conditions of our society right now to get there. You don't want to sit back and look at how AI is evolving. So will that same AI be an extension of me when I get my 4-year degree, or completely replace that 4-year degree? None of those things are relevant to you. It's just the fact that your parents won't give you the money, give you their money, not the money, but their money to contribute to your education, your miseducation that you want to obtain. There's so many people that have been successful without doing a 4-year degree. And equally, there's people that have been wildly successful after doing their 4-year degree. If you believe it's for you, go for it. I always say God will provide. And if God doesn't open the doors, you got to wonder. You, some people say, yeah, God help those who help themselves. He shows you how to go about helping yourself. He shows you where to go to get the bread, get the money. He shows you that there are freaking scholarships out there that you need to begin early filling out those scholarship forms in order to qualify for that. See, the wisdom that parents hold when it comes to this, because we sat back and we've been in the job market and we look at the people that are successful in it. We look at the people that aren't successful in it. And we know that it's not the 4-year. It is the skills. The skills pay the bills, and we don't tell them because they're soft skills that they can learn that will put them at a far better advantage than the ones who spent the next 4 years trying to obtain a degree.
Paying yours and making sure yours is straight. At your big ass age, you decided to go to college and you waited 18 years. It's not an accomplishment, Buki. It's not an accomplishment. You're a silly, pretty little bird. Goofy little bitches. Good day. Have a nice day.
Wow. And you drag your parents online. You call them pretty little birds, goofy little. I'm not bored in on it, guys. I'm not. So I spent more of my life trying to wrap my mind around this 4-year degree and even kept going back and finishing parts of it. The reality of it, it would not have increased my net worth or my value, my ability to make income, not one bit. It wouldn't. The ability for me to sit down and speak to you and talk to you the way I'm talking to you and share my thoughts and ideas, be authentic, and give you some insight on how to do your real estate better and what's happening now in that space. It came from talking to hundreds, thousands of people doing hundreds of real estate transactions. Like, subscribe, follow for more content. I will see you guys on